Gabriel Jesus. Firmino. Oh, that's a fantastic goal. It always looks fantastic when the ball goes into that top corner. And look at it again. Well, he's doubled up here with his second goal, and he took it in excellent style, just like the first one.
Hello football fans, and welcome to another player review based on actual performance stats for FIFA 18 Ultimate Team. This time we're looking at the team of the group stages Roberto Firmino, a card he was awarded with after a fine performance during the group stage of the Champions League. If you've seen my review of his normal rare gold card, you will know that I rate that card very high, but this time I have played him as both a cam and as a striker, so I will review his performance from both of this position. As always, I've collected all the stats after the games and put it into my spreadsheet. But I'm gonna start by just quickly gonna look at the base and in-game stats compared to his regular card. And as you can see, the team in the group stage card is obviously an upgrade to his regular one for all stats. And it's the first special card he got this season, and it got some important updates. His pace is up with 3 points to 80, as well as his physique and dribbling that are up to 80 and 88 respectively. His shooting and passing are up with 4 points to 85 and 83. A couple of the in-game stats highlights would be his 87 finishing and his 87 short passing. So we're looking at the card with very nice attacking stats here. With the high work rate combined with 89 stamina, it should be a very nice option both for cam and a striker. But we're gonna start looking at his performance as a central attacking midfielder cam, which is the position I've played him on the most, and what I thought would have suited him the best prior to trying him. This dashboard will tell us a few things, that he has a very low assist per game ratio, for example, and that he has quite low conversion rate. His completed passes per games look good, as does his average match rating, but I think we need to compare him to all the other midfielders that I've tried to see how he's fared, to get a total picture if he's worth his coins.
And shoots! And he's put it away beautifully.
Well, it's a landmark day, 50th appearance, and a goal to go with it. Well done, son.
Start looking at goals per game from his cam role. It puts him on third place overall, and it's actually a good stat. Müller would be the best comparison here because he's also playing cam, but with the goal average of about 1 goal every other game, it's not bad at all from a central attacking midfielder role. For assists per games though, he's amazingly low. He's down here at 14th place with only 0.18 assists per game, and it's remarkably low actually. The figures behind that average is 8 assists in 45 games, unbelievably low from that position. But the relatively high amount of goals that he had per game still makes him 50 overall for the goals plus assists combined per games for midfielders. Moving on to shooting stats then. His shots on targets is quite low, at 64% of his shots hitting the target, and this is even worse when you consider he's by far the midfielder has shot most, with 0.5 shots on target per game. But one of his biggest problems here, just like with his regular gold card, is that he misses so many chances. 21% conversion rate from that many shots on target really is lousy.
And in goes Firmino. One in front, they would be a lot more comfortable if they were 2 in front.
And it continues like this when you look at passing. 88% successful passing places him on 12th place after a whole bunch of cheap midfielders like Emre Can, Lallana and even Fernandinho. And there is no question he gets involved a lot, almost 22 completed passes per game, but he's missing way too many passes, as he did with his shots. Key passes though, surprisingly good considering how low his assist per game was. Last stats that I'm gonna look at for his cam role is possession won and lost, and as you can see here, he's the one midfielder that loses possession the most of all that have played 20 or more games with. You would think that his high work rate would make him win possession more often, but his average of 2.2 possession wins per game are very average. So all in all, I would say quite disappointing performance stats from his cam roll. So, do we think he has performed better as a striker then? Well, as you can see here, his goals per game and assists per game are far from the best, even though his goals per game are similar to his regular gold card. His assists per game from the striker position are almost half as good as his gold card. Remarkable, really. So 12th place overall strikers combined goals per assist are far from good enough from a card with these stats and at this cost. Shot stats are very similar to ones we saw from him playing at the cam. He shoots a lot, misses the target and fails to convert. 19% conversion rate for striker, extremely low standard if you ask me. Passing is again far from the best and also far from his regular gold card. Same for possession won and lost here as a striker, although you can argue that his position won stats are better than the ones we saw from his cam roll. It doesn't really matter now, does it? So for the verdict. For a player with such good stats that should suit for both cam and striker, it's really remarkable that it's played so bad for me. But you can't even say that he might have improved playing more games, because he's played over 60 games for me, and if he was to improve he really should have by now. Bang average on goal contribution, really bad on assists, and with one of the worst conversion rates I've seen. His passing percentage are low and he loses the ball way too easy. You have to consider that this is a card that cost me 180,000 when I got him, and even though he's dropped a bit now, he's still over 100,000 on the Xbox. What's worrying is how much worse this card performs for me compared to his regular rare gold card that costs like 5k. It makes me think, are there other special cards that should be an upgrade but in reality plays much worse? What's your thoughts and experience on this? Personally, I still remember from FIFA 15 where I played the regular Memphis Depay card, and he was very good for me, as he was for many people. So when he got an inform, I was very hyped up about it and got that immediately. But he didn't score half as many goals as his cheap gold has done, so I sold him after like 50 games and bought back the old card instead. So I've scored Firmino a 4 on my 10 graded scales. I really wouldn't recommend anyone spilling the cash on him, really. I sold him now when he was like 130k, and I recently got this 86 rated inform card just to see how differently it performs to the other two versions I've now tried. And I think for my next video I'm gonna do a review of a handful of Footmas cards on the topics, are they really an upgrade? It will raise the question on why we should splash cash on special cards if it won't be an improvement to the regular cards. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching today, and keep watching those stats. See ya!